Hello everybody, it's Wendy and I am back today with another necklace and earrings tutorial using products from the November 2020 Bargain Bead Box. So Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription service. It is delivered straight to your door for $17.98 a month. It includes $65 to $70 worth of amazing products. You get eye pins sometimes, you get ear wires, you get chain, you get charms, you get links, you get pendant pieces, you get gemstone strands. Oh goodness, I mean, just so much stuff. So if you look, here is my bargain bead box, my sheet from this month. There are 18 different items on here, okay? And it says it is a $63 value. So it is a really, really great deal. It's $17.98 a month, and that is shipped straight to your door. And when you sign up for Bargain Bead Box, you get a coupon code, which I've covered up here, but you get a coupon code to use for 30% off in their sister store, and you can use that over and over all month long. So I mean, their prices are already great. It's a closeout store, but you get 30% off of that. It's just great. Then you can enter your creations in their contest on Facebook, and it's a $50 gift card. I've been saying 25. I thought it was a $25 gift card, but you can be entered to win a $50 gift card to use in their store. So it really is a great program. I love Bargain Bead Box. I have been receiving it for probably 3 years now. I've got 3 years worth of unboxings on my YouTube channel here, so if you want to check that out, you can. But if you're interested in subscribing to it, I have a coupon code here, Wendy2. It's all one word, and you can use it for either your $2 off of your first subscription box or $2 off in their store. Now, you don't have to be a subscriber to the box to shop in their store. You can shop in their store. You just don't get the 30% off, but you can use this coupon code in there if you want. And you can only use it one time. You can't use it over and over. So if you use it for the box, you can't use it in the store and vice versa. So just so you know that. But I will put the links in the description box below if you're interested. But today we are going to make a necklace and earring set using some of the products from this box. So I did last month, I did what I called a fireworks necklace and earring set, and a lot of people liked it, and several people asked me to do a tutorial on it. So that's what I'm going to do with these 3 beads. So we got these beautiful lampwork glass beads in the box this month. I love these. They are just gorgeous. And we're going to use 2 of them for earrings and 1 for a pendant. We're also going to use 3 of the purple beads with the gold accents on them. These were beautiful as well, I thought. And we're using a bunch of these tiny little rondelles and the gold spacer beads that were in the box. Okay, so a whole big bunch of those. You're going to need your chain that was in the box this month. You're going to need some of the bead caps. And then you're going to need some Coriana chain. Now this is available on my website. I will link it in the description box below. It is a beading chain. You can bead directly onto it. And I love it because it's beautiful. It doesn't matter if it shows. You know, with tiger tail or something like that, you don't really want it to show. You have to bead all the way up the sides. With this, you don't. It's really pretty. And you're going to need 2 crimp beads and 2 clamshell covers to finish it off. So I have the clamshell covers on my website as well. I do not have crimp beads on my website though. You will need a lobster claw clasp, which whoops, sorry for the noise. I neglected to pull out. I knew I was forgetting something. There it is. Whoops, that one won't match, will it? We need shiny gold. And I know I have one here. I just don't want to have to dump out my whole thing to find it. But I might have to. Oh, here it is. Okay, there we go. Shiny gold, lobster claw clasp. You will need a lot of head pins, okay? A lot of head pins. And then you're going to need 3 long head pins. So these right here, where's my ruler? Okay, these right here are actually 2-inch head pins. You're definitely going to need 3 2-inch head pins, and then you're going to need a bunch of smaller head pins. They can be really tiny head pins if you want, because you're just going to be making little links with them. You're going to need 1 eye pin. You're going to need 2 of the fish hook ear wires that were in the box this month. You're probably going to need a couple jump rings. I just have one out there, but I have them close by in case I need more. And then you're going to need your jewelry tools. Okay? So if you want to make this, grab up all your stuff and we'll get started. All right. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make, because I know I have a lot of new beaders, okay, on the website. So for you advanced beaders, just be patient, because I remember when I was starting out and people would go through things so fast and I couldn't keep up, or I couldn't figure out what they were doing, and it was frustrating. So I try to slow down for the new beaders that don't know all the basics. So, you know, I'm going to help you learn the basics. And if you're an advanced beader, just, you know, smile and endure it. Okay, it's okay. So I'm going to show you how to make a link with the one-step looper and without the one-step looper. And I prefer to not use the one-step looper, though I will admit I did use the one-step looper on all these links, because if you look at this pile of links and this pile of links, yeah, so I use the one-step looper. It is faster, but I will show you why I don't necessarily like it as well as doing it by hand, okay? So I'm going to show you by hand the first way. So the first thing you do is you take yourself a head pin. Now, if you're making a link that's going to need to hook together on both sides, you want to use an eye pin. So an eye pin has the little loop at the bottom that allows you to hang something on it. But for this, we're just making little dangles that are going to hang on something else with no need for it to hook to something, so we're using a head pin, okay? So you take your head pin and you put your beads on however you want, and I'm going to do a rondelle, a gold spacer, and a rondelle, just like this. Slide them down, and then you want to take your chain nose pliers and you want to come up just a tad bit above the bead. You don't want to crack your bead when you bend this, but you don't want it to have a lot of room there to wiggle around either. So just a tiny little bit. I mean, if you can see, that's just very, very minimal. And then you're going to bend this to a 90-degree angle. Okay? And I like to bend it till it's straight over 90 degrees because I think it makes a prettier loop. I've got glue on my hands from I've been gluing stuff together. Okay, and then you're going to need your chain nose pliers here in a minute. So you take your cutters and you want to cut this. Now, a lot of people tend to cut them really long. I don't like that. I think the loops look way better if you don't have a huge amount of wire, but you have to have enough. So I've kind of learned to judge where I need it to be. It is about a little, I don't know, it's about a little less than my finger's width when I put my finger in here, but you just kind of have to learn that, okay? Clip that wire off. Then take your round nose pliers. Now with round nose pliers, the farther down on the plier you go, the smaller the loop you're going to get. So you want to kind of judge it where you want your loop to be, and then you just roll it back like this. Okay? And there you have your perfect little loop. And if you can see, it is down close to the beads, so they're not wobbling around a whole lot, and it just makes a good little loop. So that's how you do it by hand. Now the one-step looper is very convenient and very quick. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to put your head pin, your beads on your head pin, however you want them to go. And you're going to take this contraption, and if you can see, it has a hole right here in the top. Can you see that hole? Yeah, there it is. So your wire can stick out that hole if it's long enough, okay? Now, one thing I don't like about this is if I close this right here where it's at, it's going to crack my crystal because it's down so close to it. So you kind of have to keep it, you have to move it up a little bit away from your crystal, just like you do when you're hand making them, and then you squeeze this, and then you bend this back a little bit, okay? Open it up, take it out, and you have a loop. Now, a lot of times the one-step looper, especially if you're going fast with it, it leaves your loops open, like this one, for instance, which is not a big deal if you're going to be hooking onto something and closing all your loops anyway, but I don't know, I just don't like that necessarily. So this one closed up pretty good, but if you can see, it's got a bit of a gap here because I had to move the looper up just a tad so as not to crack the crystal. So it allows your beads to move around quite a bit on this, which for this project is not going to matter. But for some other projects, it does matter. And that's one reason that I'm just not a huge fan of the one-step looper. It's okay, and it does definitely help if you're making a ton of stuff. But if you can see the difference there in the link I made by hand and the link I made using the looper, there is quite a bit of space there. And you have to do that or it cracks your crystal. So that's how you make a link, and that's the difference between a handmade link, the old-fashioned way, and the one-step looper link, okay? So you can do whatever you want. It's totally up to you. I am not the boss of you. Okay, so here we go. First off, we're going to take one of our big beads, and we're going to go ahead and do our earrings first, because these are a lot easier and quicker than the pendant. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 of my eye pins. I'm going to take 2 of my gold spacer beads. What did I do with my extra beads? I put them back over here away. I'm trying to clean up around here, so I was a little too proactive here. Okay, now I'm going to take the spacer bead, put it on my head pin. I'm going to take a bead cap, and I'm going to put it facing down over my little spacer, and then I'm going to use a bead cap facing up like this. And then I'm going to take my big bead and stick it on, and here's what you have so far. And I like the way the bead caps do. I just think that's really cute. I do that in a lot of my stuff, so I know you've probably seen it 100 times. But now, what we got to do here is we have to take we're putting all these little links on the top of this, and we have to make sure they're closed because the looper doesn't close them really good all the time. So you have to make sure they're closed, and you're just going to take them. You're going to check each one, make sure it's closed up, and then you're just going to feed it onto your head pin, okay? Now, when you make these dangles, let me just say this, you've got to make a bunch of them, and you need to make them different lengths. So if you can see, this one right here is 3 beads, but it's a lot shorter than that one, which is 3 beads. I left quite a bit of space at the top on this one. Then I have some that are really short, like this one. So just do them all different, but you need some shorter and some longer, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Okay, so we're just going to continue threading them on here, making sure all of our loops are closed up real good. You don't want them falling off. And you can thread on as many as you want. I've made a whole big bunch here. I didn't even count them. I just made a whole big bunch. And I'm not worried about doing like mirroring this, making it the same on one side that it is on the other. I want it to have the general, see that one's really open. I want it to have the general same amount just so one doesn't look extremely full and the other one not. But I'm not really worrying about making sure that each one has the same looking beads or sets. They're all going to be so similar, it's not going to matter. Now, with your longer ones, you can take and you can bend them down a little bit if you don't want them sticking straight out. I kind of like them bent down a little, but some people like them sticking straight out. They do look more like fireworks, like I named the other one, if they're just sticking straight out from your bead. So some of them I bend down and some of them I leave. So it just kind of gives it a little variety. But I'm just going to continue threading them on. And I'm going to thread them on just until I feel like it looks full and I like it. So close this one up. So this one here has got quite a few beads on there. I kind of like the way he's looking. Yeah, I think it's probably about done. I am bending some of them down because I like that. And then I'm going to take my bead cap, and I'm going to put my bead cap face up, facing upwards, the top here. And then I'm going to take one of my purple beads and put it on. Then I'm going to take another bead cap and put it on top of the purple bead, facing the bead, just like that. And here's what we have. Now, you don't have to put this extra purple bead on if you don't want to. You can just leave it plain. I kind of like it, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on there. Now, one thing you want to make sure of here is that you keep this very tight, okay? So when you put the purple bead on, you want to pull down and make sure that it's as tight as you can get it. You don't want all of these little things to be loose and floating around on here. You want them to stay kind of tight like this. And then you're going to bend it in a 90-degree angle, and we're just going to make a loop. Okay? And again, you want to keep this tight. So you don't want your loop to be real big because you don't want it, you know, a lot of room for things to move around on there. So we want it to close right up pretty tightly. And there it is. And here is our little earring. Okay. Now we're going to take our ear wire, and we are going to put it right on here. And there's your little firework earring. I think these turn out super cute. Now again, you can take your pliers and you can bend these down a little if you want, you know. It's totally what you want to do with it. You don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you want. So that one, when I bend him down, he's kind of not, the beads aren't, there we go. So if you take them at the top and you kind of bend them down like this, it works a little bit better. But I love these. I think these turn out so cute. And you can use so many different beads. I mean, you could use just tons and tons of different kinds of beads. So we're going to go ahead and make the pendant now. So you would do the second earring just the same, but there's no sense in me dragging you through all that. So let's do the pendant. Now the pendant is going to be similar, but not exactly the same. We're going to use some chain with this one because it's a pendant. So we want it to be kind of long and hang down. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go ahead and put my beaded part on first. I'm going to do it the same as I did on the other one. So the little gold spacer bead, whoops, I do not need the clamshell yet. The bead cap facing down, the bead cap facing up, my big bead. But I'm not putting my dangles up on the top this time, okay? I'm going to put my dangles down on the bottom. So I'm going to do another bead cap facing down, another bead cap facing up, and I'm going to use this smaller purple bead to make it match the earrings, okay? Then I'm going to do another bead cap on top, and here's what I'm going to have. So I'm just going to go ahead, same thing, and make a loop, just like I did on my other one. The only difference is we're just not putting the dangles on the top of the bead. And you can if you want. I guess you could make it exactly the same as the earrings if you wanted to, but I just wanted it to be a little different. Okay. Now, if you notice, a lot of times when I make a pendant, I will take the eye pin or the head pin and roll it around a couple, almost like a split ring on the top. I just keep rolling, and that way I feel like it makes it a little more secure on the chain. It's not going to fall off. Okay, so now we have a piece of chain here. I've taken all my dangles. I made the dangles exactly the same as I did for the earrings, but I've taken the chain that came in the bargain bead box and I've just cut different lengths of it and attached these dangles to it. So some are longer than others. I just left them all different, okay? And I just made a bunch of little chain dangles. And then I have a piece of chain just on its own, one single piece of chain here, okay? And I actually was going to use this and hang all these from it, and I still may do that because I want this to be layered. I don't want all the chains to be, or all the dangles to be laying in the same height, if that makes sense. Probably not, but okay. So go ahead and attach your piece of chain to your pendant piece that you just made, just like that, okay? Now this is not the chain that came in the box. This is just an extra piece I had. Now is where you're going to need some jump rings, okay? And I've got some teeny tiny ones here that Beth sent me. She knows that I love tiny, tiny jump rings. And here they are. They are little. And she sent these to me, and I am using the heck out of them because I love them. I love little jump rings. I don't like to feel like the jump rings are real noticeable on my projects. So love tiny ones, so thank you, Beth. All right, now I'm just going to open these up, and I'm going to start attaching these chain links. Let me grab my other chain nose pliers. When you open a jump ring, you grab it on both sides like this, both sides of the cut, and you twist like that. You do not pull it open side to side, because if you do, you're going to end up with your jump ring distorting. I'm going to hang this one right from the top because it's pretty long, okay? So it's going right from the top of my bead up there. Now, I do have some of these left over as well, the shorter ones, the ones that I made for the earrings that aren't on chain yet. And I'm probably going to attach them in here at different intervals, but I just want to go ahead and start attaching these. And this one's pretty long too, so I think I'll put him at the top as well. I may have to trim some of them. Let's see, that one's shorter. I'm just going to attach them to where they hang at different lengths. And you can make this as long or as short as you want. So this one, I'm going to go down a little, maybe right about here, on the main chain, the chain that's attached directly to my pendant that doesn't have dangles on it. I'm going to go down, let's go about right here. I'm just going to hang it on there. And if you can see what I'm creating, it's just some chain dangles that have different lengths to them. Now some of these I have way too long, and I'm going to cut them down because I don't need them that long. Okay, so here's one. Let's go ahead and put it on. Oh, that's not even a jump ring. That was a link to something else that I've cut off, apparently. I have lots of little pieces of stuff laying everywhere. I really need to clean my craft room. Okay, this one I'm just going to hook on somewhere. Doesn't really matter where you put them as long as you feel like your little dangle is full, like you want it. And as long as it's as full as you want it and it's doing what you want it to do, then you can hang them wherever you want. I'm going to trim this one down a little. And just attach this one on as well. I'll put it up here close to the top, maybe right about there. I want to try to hang it from that middle, there we go, the middle chain though. Okay. I do have my glasses on. I still act like I can't see anything, don't I? I've got to get a eye doctor's appointment. My eyes have changed, and they are so bad. I just can't hardly see anything at all, up close or far away anymore. So, gonna have to see the eye doctor. For years and years, my eyes didn't change. They were the same. And I would get so frustrated because I would have to go to the eye doctor and get a new exam every year. And I just felt like it was such a waste of money to spend all this money for them only to tell me that I had the same prescription and nothing had changed. And I know that they check the health of your eyes too, but I think I would know if I was having, if there was trouble, and there wasn't. So I was always so frustrated with that. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have an eye doctor's appointment because clearly things have changed. So it's no fun. Okay, I'm trying to put this one up toward the top a little bit too because it's kind of short. Put it right there. You just want your tassel part on this to look kind of even and, just uniform. So I'm going to take a couple of the ones now that I don't have hooked onto a chain piece. I don't like that one because it's some of these are kind of long. And I want to use the real long ones on the earring because you can bend them over. Okay, let's use this guy. And I'm just going to take him, and I think I'm going to attach him right here to this one. Well, maybe. Maybe we'll go right here. This is easier said than done. I need another hand. If I had one more hand, I might have it made here. There we go. Okay, and see, I'm just trying to make my tassel kind of filled in and even looking. Choose this one, it's small, fuzz from my bead mat. I'm actually asking Chris for a Velux blanket for Christmas. He's like, you want another blanket? Because I have tons. I love blankets. I have tons of blankets. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm going to cut this one up. He's like, what? You're going to cut it up? I said, yeah, I'm going to cut it up and make bead mats. He thinks I'm crazy. I know he does, but he's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, the Velux brand material is what the bead mats are made out of. But you can't find very large bead mats, and I've been having trouble finding the Velux. I can't find the material anywhere, like in Joann's or anything. So I'm just gonna buy a blanket and cut the heck up. Cut the thing up. Make my own little custom size bead mat. I want one big enough to cover this whole desk. So I told him, I'm like, twin size will work just fine. Just get me a twin size blanket and I'm gonna make some bead mats. So that's my Christmas present I asked for. Velux blanket. But I think they make like a Velux fleece stuff too, and I think you have to get the original Velux or it doesn't work so well. Okay, I don't like him. He's poked straight out. That's one of the reasons on this one it's better to use the chain because sometimes they don't want to hang very well if they're just attached to that top jump ring with nothing else. So we'll see how it does when I put it on a piece of chain, and that's better. So here's my little tassel. It's looking pretty good, I think. I might add a couple more. I might add one hanging from right there. Let's see. Have another short one? I don't have hardly any short ones. I made them all kind of long. Let's put this guy, actually I'm going to hang him from right here. See how that looks. It's looking pretty good. Now I've got it kind of full in the middle. And so I'm going to take, this piece has two attached. I'm going to take it and hang it with a jump ring. Where do we need something? Over here. Yeah. Let's go right there. That'll work. Alright. And I think that's looking pretty good. It's pretty full. And this one's kind of poking out. I don't know that I like it. I may stick it on a jump ring. That might help it. Let me do that. I'm never going to be able to find that link where I had it attached to again. Once I laid that down. That link is gone forever, probably. I don't know. I'll see if I can pick it back up kind of in the same spot. Yeah, I have no idea where it was. Let me just look at where it needs one now. Right here. Looks good. Alright. So how's that look? That looks pretty good. He's got a nice full little fireworky tassel going on down the bottom. Okay, and you could always add more. Like, see, I have a couple more here that I may just go ahead and add just because I have them. I have them made. So, and I'm not going to use the ones with chain on the earrings. So let me just go ahead and add it. Let's see. I'll stick it right here. Okay. Looking good. And one more. I've got one more with some chain on it. Just go ahead and throw it on there too. Just put it on the top. Alright. So there we go. There's our little tassel. He's looking really cute. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my Coriana chain and I'm going to thread it right through here. Whoops. And here I can decide, do I want to add some more beads to it, or do I want to just leave it like it is, kind of just simple like this. But I actually think that I'm going to add some more of these beads to it. I have a few more of these purple ones. And I don't have any more bead caps. I've used the heck out of those bead caps. I really did like them. And I don't even think I have any more of the gold spacers. I don't. So I'm just going to use these, and I might pull a couple. I mean, I have just some basic gold spacers in my stash. So let me see. Let me find them. Okay, so these are some cool double gold spacer beads, and I'm going to use them and just add a few beads here to the bottom of this. So I'm going to add those. I'm going to go ahead and put one of these big purple ones on. I'm actually going to use a few of the rondelles as well. You don't have to do this. You do not have to bead up this chain. You can just leave it however, you know, you can leave it plain if you want, but I just kind of want to. I think it's going to be pretty with some of these beads on it, and I don't really have enough of the purple beads to make any more jewelry with. These purple beads right here, so I figure I might as well go ahead and use them on this. I've only got a few left of them. Okay, so there's that. Get these jump rings out of the way a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to do another of the purple beads. Whoops. I only have one bead cap left. I love those bead caps. I used them so much in everything that I did out of this box. Really, really did. I liked them. Okay, I'm going to do another rondelle. On either side. And another set of these gold spacer beads. Whoops. I have some more of this Coriana chain coming on my website. I actually found it in gunmetal, which I think it's the same thing. I don't know. I'm going to be sure, obviously. But I ordered it because I think it's the same as these the gold, platinum, and silver, or gold, platinum, and rose gold. And if it is, I'm so excited because I've not seen gunmetal in it. So it'll just be a different finish. I don't use a lot of gunmetal, but I thought it would be really cool. Oh wait, I've got to save one of these guys for my other earring. Whoops, okay. Do I have another one? I don't even have another one. Okay, so he's got to come off too. Okay, so I have one of these left over after all this work with the bargain bead box. Okay, so I am going to add one more little rondelle. I'm glad I noticed that I needed to save one out for my earring, because that would have been bad to finish it and only have one earring. Not be able to do the other one, or have to take my necklace back apart, which sounds like something I would do. Okay. Alright, so here's what I've got, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. Now, what you want to do is you want to hold this up to yourself and, you know, see where you want it to lay. I like these kind of things with a tassel like this to be fairly long on me. So let's see what I've got my chain at here. I'll measure it and tell you, because I just held it up to me and it works pretty good. So I've got it at about 25 inches in length total. And that's what I'm going to leave it at. I'm going to go ahead and snip it. Okay, now we're going to finish it off. And this chain is really super simple to finish. You take a clamshell and you insert your chain into the bottom of it. Okay, and then you're going to put a crimp bead on. Now, I will say this again, I've said it a million times, but someone always asks me what size crimp beads I use. I don't know. They are all in a container mixed together, which is terrible, I know. Don't even preach at me about it, because I know it's not good. But here they are. They're all mixed together in a container. I have no idea what size they are. If it is too big, it's going to float around on your chain and not crimp up good. So I just pick them out. I just pick one out that looks like it's going to fit my chain. So, like, when I put this on, you'll see. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so see how this is pretty tiny. I would say it's about a 1.5 millimeter. I have some really big ones in there, like 4 millimeter. Well, I'm not going to put a 4 millimeter on this tiny chain, but it's got to be big enough to crimp closed and stay too. And I've got some in there that are teeny weeny, like about half that size. And I wouldn't use that on this either. So you just kind of judge. I mean, I know that some people are very scientific and precise about it and want to know millimeters and all this, but I've never had a problem. And I just kind of, I just judge what looks like it fits on my chain, and I've never had an issue. So, yeah. I know that probably drives some of you crazy, but I can't help it. That's just the way I work. It's way too much work for me to try to come up with millimeters of crimp beads and match them up to chain. I mean, there's just no reason for that. So I don't do it. All right. So I do like to use a bigger ring for my clamshell to clasp on, or my lobster to clasp onto. So I have a bigger ring here, and I'm just going to put it right on here. Now, a lot of times I put extenders on here. I'm not going to put an extender on this one because it's already pretty long, okay? And nobody's probably going to want to wear it much longer than 24 inches, 25 inches, so I'm not going to put an extender on it. And you just put your little lobster clasp on like this. And there you go. You just close this right up, and I think this is a really cute set. It's funky and fun. I don't know that I would call it elegant so much, but I think it's fun. So here's our necklace, and here's our earring, and I am going to make the other earring, and then I will put them on a form and show you. So hold on. Okay, so here is the finished necklace and earrings. So let's take a look at it. There's our necklace. It goes all the way up with the Coriana chain. Really pretty, I think. And then here are the earrings. Now, there is a difference in these earrings. And I'm not going to tell you all what it is, but I want to know if somebody can tell me what the difference is in this pair of earrings, okay? So I made a mistake, and there is a little difference there, and I just want to know if anyone can tell what it is, okay? And it shows. I mean, it's there. I'm getting it on video, but I just want to know if you guys can tell me what the difference is in the pair of earrings, okay? So, yeah, I'm interested to see. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will provide links for Bargain Bead Box and for my website in the description box below. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.